11 at 5:30.
Well, it was another hot one today out there, but you can't say it wasn't beautiful. That combination of clouds and sun really did make it better than yesterday, I would say. I mean, it kept the sun off our backs for at least a little while if you were outside at all today. Winds from the south and southwest at about 10 miles per hour, gusting at times upwards of 15 and 20 miles per hour. Most of us right now still sitting in that 80-degree mark, low 80s, upper 70s, starting to cool off, but it's still going to keep being hot for just a little bit longer. Beautiful skies, though, across here. I'm especially loving this in Philadelphia. Those kind of popcorn clouds here and there, very pretty. I always love to see those. Around the area, though, we will see temperatures drop moving on into the overnight and into Monday morning into the upper 50s. That's still about 5 degrees above average, depending on where you are, but be it in the mid-50s, some of us in the upper 50s with mostly clear conditions. Clouds do stick around overnight tonight. It's more of the same, those fair weather clouds, a lot like what we saw today, a lot like what we're seeing right now. Fortunately, no rain clouds come in, or rather, unfortunately, depending on how you appreciate the heat. No rain clouds come in, at least for the first half of the week. Coming into Monday proper, though, we're still seeing temperatures hanging out in those mid to low 80s with partly cloudy conditions throughout the day. Fair weather clouds, once again, still about 5 degrees above average. So it's feeling, if you go out there, you're really feeling warm out there. And those south winds just constantly dragging that warm air up from the Gulf or from Texas, depending on whether you're getting it from the south or from the southwest, really just dragging that heat in. It's going to feel warm, especially for the next few days. In terms of what we saw today, our high was in the low 80s, some of us in the mid 80s, but for our average time this time we usually sit in the mid 70s. Now, I want you to keep this number in mind here for the record high that's around 90. Keep that in mind as we approach later this week. I'll show you the 7-day here in a minute because we could be approaching that record come later this week. But that's what you can expect heading through the first part of the week and up into the midweek. We're in the mid to upper 50s for our lows on Monday. Trade that for lows in the 60s by Tuesday, mid 60s Wednesday, Thursday, and the highs all the way through low 80s up into the mid 80s. Get a little bit of reprieve here. We see a little bit of a drop off because of clouds that move in Tuesday into Wednesday. Keep our temperatures down just a little bit, but that's not enough because we're going to spring straight back up into the mid 80s by Thursday and even into Friday. We are also monitoring some flood alerts around the area, mainly right now for our areas just along that southern part in Choctaw County along the Tombigbee waterway. So just be mindful of that. That lasts until Wednesday at 10 in the morning. So just be mindful of that if you do work or commute or live around any of those waterways. Taking a look now at our 7-day forecast. Coming up into the midweek, we are looking pretty good, sitting in the 80s. As I said, trading those mid-50s for lows in the 60s. We're seeing 80s through Wednesday. Clouds keep those temps down just a little bit, but as we move into Thursday, we're back up in the mid-80s, possibly breaking records on Friday. Highs climb as high as the upper 80s, possibly into the 90s in some areas. Could get a little bit warm there, but as we move back into Saturday, temps fall back into the mid-80s with a cold front moving through Saturday into Sunday. That high pressure system keeping us dry through this week finally does let up. By Sunday, we see rain come back into the forecast, 60% chance there, dropping us back into the lower 70s. So we do have some reprieve on the way.
Yeah, it's about to get really hot. I see that 89 degrees.
Oh man.
That makes me think of last year when it was